Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the fourth and final part of the disturbing internet iceberg. Now, if you didn't already notice, I have a little pop filter on my microphone, and I hope it's not muffling my voice too much, because then I'm going to have to yell every single time I try to say something. But I did notice that I was having some audio issues when I was talking too loud, and it was not too pleasant to listen to, so I did get one. I ordered it when I saw the comments, and I was like, okay, fine, I'm just gonna wait for it, I guess. Also, if you have not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing. It's free and it really does help me out a lot. Thanks so much. Let's get into this. The fifth nail. Joseph Edward Duncan III was a child molester, serial killer, and sex offender, most infamously known for a multiple homicide and kidnapping case that occurred in an Idaho home on July 5th, 2005. Which he was later arrested for and sentenced to life in prison. One aspect of his life that many consider unorthodox is the fact that he maintained a very committed presence on social media. Now, for a man who had spent a majority of his life in prison and was now a serial killer, the natural assumption would be to conceal his identity at all costs. However, this was not the case. Duncan was not only an avid blogger, but he also had a YouTube channel that he used every once in a while to post some random videos. Duncan called his blog, quote, The Fifth Nail. It looked like a prototypical blogger-hosted site until you read the About page, which revealed his narcissistic beliefs. He wrote about a myth that the gypsies actually made 5 nails for Christ's execution, not 4. The 5th nail was meant to pierce his heart, but the gypsies hid the 5th nail from the Roman soldiers. In some stories, the gypsies were punished by God for prolonging Christ's suffering. Curat, or Karat 963, is a disturbing YouTube channel that contains a wide array of bizarre and unsettling videos. Many assume that this is just another ARG meant to put the viewer on the edge of their seat, but to me, it's not just an ARG. There's something about it that just feels off. The imagery and ambiance are quite disturbing on their own, but the text that accompanies each video allows for us to get a deeper look into the intentions of this channel. The text presented in the videos reads things like, "You are a failure," and "It seems you have no desire for a real connection, just attention." These statements could imply that this channel strives to demoralize and degrade you, to get inside your head and eat at you from the inside, until you feel nothing but emptiness and meaninglessness. I don't know, this channel just gave me the creeps, and I really went full philosopher mode on it, and I was like, analyze, burp, puzzle piece, burp. So for discharges.org, every single time I tried to research for this, it brought me to a new advertisement, either for the horny singles in my area or the top new speaker on the market. I could not find anything on this at all. There was pages, and there was links that had the same name as this, but every single time I clicked on them, they were just unavailable. It didn't exist. It was just the advertisement. It was like as if you went onto any website, you pulled off everything except for the little window on the side where you see Mr. Beast in a honey advertisement. Jodiorg is the internet art collective of 2 artists, Joanne Heemskirk and Dirk Paesmans. Wow, that was pretty good. And is very bizarre to say the least. The homepage is comprised of a massive collection of links, each one leading you down a different bottomless rabbit hole. Many speculate it could be some sort of virus, but I think it's just another creative and unique piece of internet art. I did spend a pretty substantial amount of time on the website and didn't get any sort of sketchy viruses, so either I'm extremely lucky or there's nothing to worry about. I don't think the website is meant to have any sort of purpose, rather it's just there as a means to boggle our minds and portray the endless possibilities of the internet. Corp Enterprises has been covered 1,000 times by many different YouTubers, but I'll still give you the rundown. Corp Enterprises is an internet cult that spans across almost all social media platforms. SoundCloud, YouTube, Spotify, yeah, they make music, they make videos. I think they got a Facebook, an Instagram, literally anything you can think of. These multiple accounts are used as data collection sites as well as beacons for new recruits who are willing to join the cult. Since the cult grew so much in notoriety, I think it's since disbanded and now just kind of lives in the past of internet history. I could honestly make an entire video on this topic. I find it quite interesting, but I think it's most enjoyable if you guys experience it by yourself firsthand. Oct 28, 2011, which kind of looks like October 28, 2011, Dotcom is a website that hosted a dark screen containing only a few cryptic lines of text. The link inside it leads to crudely drawn images of pyramids and Schrodinger's cat, which is a thought experiment that illustrates a paradox of quantum superposition. The page also provided a phone number that started terrifying many people that attempted to call it. Many individuals who called this number claimed to hear nothing but heavy breathing and footsteps. However, a handful of these individuals experienced, quote, things too disturbing to share on the internet. After the date presented in the link, October 28th, 2011, I was right, I predicted that. Many of the calls made to the suspicious number on the website ended with an unsettling voice saying disturbing gibberish. Many believe this website was owned by a cult and was used as a means to recruit new members. However, nothing was ever proven, so the true intentions of this website still remain a mystery to this day. Eon5.com is the website of an underground electronic dance music label based out of New York that specializes in techno, minimal, tech house, house, and deep house. Had no idea that those were genres of music. Or, well, that's what I thought it was until I dug a little deeper. See, the Eon 5 on this list, even though when you search Eon 5 into Google, all that comes up is about this record label, the true Eon 5 that is being referred to comes from the ARG and countdown website Eon 8. When Eon 8 first came out in 2006, many speculated it was possibly a terrorist site which had the sole purpose of inciting fear into everyone, or was some elaborate advertisement. When the timer finally hit 0, the people able to actually get through the traffic saw that the site was a social experiment designed to, quote, determine the reactions of the internet public to lack of information. And Eon 5 is just a newer and more refined branch of this internet mystery. Haunting Library Webcam is referring to the Willard Library Ghost Cam's website, and when I first saw this, it gave me the creeps. This website contains a brief description of the library's history. Pretty normal, right? Pretty run-of-the-mill. As well as live camera feeds of every single room in the library. This library is so infamously haunted that there have been 24-hour live camera feeds placed in each room, and these feeds are free for anyone on the internet to watch. This was extremely bizarre to me because when I first clicked on it, I'm like, oh, spooky ghost video that's going to show me why this library is haunted. Turns out, no, this is literally the inside of the library. This is the children's room of the library. And even when nothing was happening and I was just left in silence and pitch blackness, it was still very unsettling. This is one that I would definitely recommend all of you check out, and who knows, you might see a spicy ghost sighting. Fandom Wiki Circumcision Meltdown is exactly what it sounds like. One day on the Silent Hill Wiki, a user by the name of Alex Shepard shared a few choice words as to why circumcision should not be condoned and why those who condone it are, quote, brainwashed morons. He goes on to make claims about how circumcision can have a major influence and effect on the human psyche, and that by circumcising people we are, quote, trying to erase American history and hide the truth. So what he's trying to say here is by circumcising an individual, you are destroying a piece of their memory or limiting the capacity of their memory. He goes on to make comparisons like someone being circumcised is like someone deleting an article about the Holocaust, claiming that both are methods of covering up the truth and destroying history. I did get the snip, so all those unsnippers out there, I guess you beat me in the chromosome department, and my IQ is scientifically proven to be less than yours. Okay, now we're going to be moving on from tier 6 down to tier 7, the final tier of the iceberg, and it gets pretty dark from here, so viewer discretion is advised. Please click off if you are faint of heart. I'm not even going to try and say this one. I don't even think it's pronounceable. This is a very mysterious and controversial YouTube channel due solely to the lack of information known about it. Now, for the most part, the channel is comprised of a bunch of videos that lack any purpose or evidence towards solving a bigger picture. These videos usually just consist of a black screen and muffled rambling, which you can't make out. Most of the puzzle pieces that make up this channel's infamousy lie in the titles of the videos, as well as hints that are scattered throughout the channel. The thousands of almost identical videos on this channel all follow the same format when it comes to the titling. They all follow the same two requirements, which is a time and date, but not in a traditional manner like July 18th, 2017, 7:48 p.m. for example. More like a scramble of the numbers, like 2017 0718 748. It's decipherable, but it's a little unorthodox. As well as the phrase in every single title, quote, loud, rude, annoying, noisy neighbor's asshole, in all caps. Where the unsettling intentions of this channel come in is with the channel logo, which is a picture of a gun. Now, many speculate that since the entire channel is geared around posting over 7,000 complaint videos about your neighbors, and the channel logo is a gun, that the creator of this channel has murdered their neighbors, and the video where they are shown doing so is hidden deep within the archive of this channel. Enrix is an unsettling website which at first glance may look pretty innocent. The entire page is written in Thai, but if you're able to translate it, it talks about two different diseases, Enrix and Gomex, which are not real diseases, as well as their side effects. In the bottom right hand side of the page, there is a picture of an unidentifiable woman, which if clicked, slightly distorts the page. That is unless it is clicked 5 times, which if done so, presents us with a picture of a smiley face and the phrases, quote, please wake up and thank you for visiting our website. The other 2 pages of the website titled Enrix and Contact consist of a blue key, which if clicked brings you back to the home page, as well as produces a link that brings you to a distorted and unsettling video of a woman speaking. She's just kind of making creepy noises. The website has since been deleted, but it still remains a cool piece of internet history. Next up, we have AsubaMouna, which is a YouTube playlist full of gore, surgery videos, and ISIS beheadings. Definitely not a lot here other than a cursed search term and a bunch of scarring videos. Now, I definitely do not recommend the mental scarring that I've been through. I had to bleach my eyeballs after that. But you guys seem to ignore my warnings. In fact, whenever I do make warnings, you guys feel more intrigued to go check out these videos. So I'm done being your responsible dad. Go scar yourselves. See if I care. Next up, we have Magibon.com. The actual website, Magibon.com, has been inaccessible due to the discontinuation of Flash. So I'm kind of just going off the word of other people. So I'm sorry if this entry is kind of bland. What I could derive from my research is Magibon was a Japanese or Chinese vlogger and influencer who had a website created about her. On this website, an individual that goes by the alias Frank portrays his psychopathic obsession with Magibon through a series of videos titled Video 1, Video 2, and Sorry. I can't watch these videos and tell you what's in them because Flash isn't a thing anymore, but I can assure you that it's pretty run-of-the-mill stalker type behavior. Also, for those of you wondering, Magibon no longer posts on YouTube, but she is happily married and still posts on Instagram. She did not get kidnapped or die or anything. Godly Recon was a vlogging channel started in 2006, which was ran by a 23-year-old woman named Caroline. Her videos started out pretty standard, but turned dark when she began mentioning how someone was stalking her. She explained how it started with private messages and phone calls made to her number, and eventually led to the individual sending Caroline pictures of her own house. In April of 2007, her final video was uploaded to her channel, which was titled Goodbye. This video showed her screaming hysterically and obviously in distress, as she was seemingly trying to get away from someone. YouTube removed the channel shortly after it began to gain traction because they didn't want to be involved with the police if the video turned out to be real. To this day, Caroline's whereabouts still remain unknown. Help with Advice is a very unsettling YouTube channel that is comprised of a wide range of shock videos. The videos themselves consist of individuals being put through excruciating methods of torture, as well as just plain physical trauma. The channel even consists of a playlist titled, quote, listening in on someone being murdered. And you know that this title holds true to the content in the playlist because every single video in the playlist has been removed by YouTube. This channel's sole purpose is to act as a shock site, and they sadly do this perfectly. So I mean, if you hate yourself and you ever want to subject yourself to mental torture, be my guest and check this channel out. John Lang was a citizen of Fresno, California who was murdered in his home on January 20th, 2016 by way of multiple stab wounds and consumption by a fire set to his house. John was harshly disliked by the local police for his activism against their corruption. And suspiciously, just 5 days before his death, he made many public claims to his suspicions about being a target for murder. Many speculate Lang was murdered by the local police as an example set by the corrupt government to show why you shouldn't defy them. and the murder still remains unsolved to this day, but many are trying to provide some sort of closure for Lang's family and friends. Lex The Wonder Dog is a film that has little to no information about it. What I know from my research is that it is about a dog that solved crimes, which is kind of cool. The only tagline I could find for it online is, quote, "a thriller of canine detection." That's pretty catchy. The strange thing about this is apparently this film was directed by an individual named Lord Sidney Ling, who was an individual who could walk at superhuman speeds, speak to animals, had the power to heal people with his touch, and it lived until he was 3,000 years old. I am not making this up at all. I couldn't even pull this out of my ass if I wanted to. I don't know if this Sidney Ling is a real individual or some sort of folklore, but either way, I think it's very cool that this little Easter egg has a spot on the internet. The WKCR Hijacking is an event that occurred back in 1994 and 1995 when someone hijacked Columbia University's radio station WKCR 89.9. The hijacker played an array of different things ranging from a very unsettling and distorted assortment of sounds and screams to a voice which seemed to be reading obituaries, including that of Robert Oppenheimer, the father of the atomic bomb. Many speculate this event could have been a hoax, but with such little information surrounding it, what the hijacker's true intentions were is anyone's guess. And for the final entry on the iceberg, we have Mother Horse Eyes. In the MK Ultra experiments, the CIA dosed unwilling subjects with LSD to see how they would react. What has not yet come to light about MK Ultra though, is that the CIA created a separate department where the subjects were fed a steady and constant dose of LSD and psychoactives. This was done to see if there was any differing properties amongst the subjects in this department compared to the other departments, and would eventually mark the beginning of Mother Horse Eyes, or sometimes called the Interface series. The entire thing had to be eliminated, but the technology it created has been revolutionary. Of course, due to the unethical nature of these projects, they cannot be replicated as long as the morality of society remains a factor. Mother Horse Eyes, most times considered a creepypasta or a form of new indie horror, is an accumulation of conversations that takes place in the comment sections of many different posts across multiple subreddits. These conversations are comprised of many different POVs that take place in the setting of the MK Ultra experiments. Each conversation acts as a puzzle piece to a bigger picture, and after all of them have been collected, they comprise an actually very intriguing creepypasta. But anyways, guys, that is the entirety of the disturbing internet iceberg. I really do hope you guys enjoyed. I put a lot of time and effort into this, but I also really enjoy making them, so you know, it's not that big of a hassle. And I'm really excited to move on to some new topics because I've kind of been stuck with the same series for a long time. But I hope you guys have a fantastic night, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.